So now I'm going to talk about just getting back to playing with a pick and either having your hand temporarily be anchored to the body when you're playing the lower strings and riding into the lower strings with your palm when you're playing on the higher strings. The reason I prefer this, I mean, there might be times when I have my pinky like this and but again, that's temporary, right? I'm not permanently anchoring to the body. When I come into the lower strings and I'm playing on the higher strings and I'm resting on the lower strings, that's causing me to have an awareness up here about spatially where my hand is in relation. And that doesn't mean I stay back here all the time. I might move up here, back and forth, depending on what I'm trying to produce for a sound. And that has, I think, a much more of an impact acoustically when you're doing something like, as opposed to, you can hear the variance of dynamics. Back to having your palm rest here. One of the things by doing this, what ends up happening is you set up a habit, and eventually you're going to get into songs that will do what they call palm muting. And palm muting is when you're resting your palm on the strings doing something like that. So I'm far enough back where the palm is near the bridge, so I'm getting some resonance. If I'm up too far, I'm not going to get that palm thud, as opposed to, see the difference? Well, if you start to play and learn to pick from the beginning by resting your palm on the lower strings, when it comes to palm muting, you've actually almost already taught yourself what to do. It's just a matter of placing that palm in the right spot in order to produce palm muting. Again, this is just one of those little tricks. Let me go back up here for a second. Hi. This is just one of those little tricks that if you know from the get-go, it's a tip that if you don't know, you know, it's frustrating because you might learn something down the road and you have to adjust your technique. If you know these little things ahead of time, as you practice, you can double check what you're doing on the neck with your hand here and with your hand here to make slight adjustments. And one of the great ways to do that is in the middle of practice, whatever you're doing, just stop for a second and freeze and look at what your hands are doing and see if you need to make any adjustments. Okay? There's some short little tips on palm muting and getting ready for palm muting and having your hand be aware of where it is on the strings without having to look down here. All right, thanks. Thanks for watching this video. Again, I'm Phil Olson. To purchase the Awesome Guitar Series, click on the link below. It'll take you to Amazon. You can see full descriptions of each one of the volumes. After you've made your purchase and you receive them, go home and practice.